Got some outstanding leaders in our state here. Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally here. It's great to see you, sir. Senator Richard Briggs is here. Where is he? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for being here. Representative John Reagan is here. Also have Mayor Kincannon here. Thank you, Mayor, for being here as well. Mayor Terry Frank from Anderson County is here. Mayor Warren Gooch from Oak Ridge is here. And of course, President Boyd and Chancellor Plowman is here. Thank you again for having us on your lovely campus. Also with us today is Don Mole from TVA, Chief Operating Officer of TVA. So,
Representative Elaine Davis.
Yes, Elaine Davis is here. Yes, thank you for being here as well and representing this great city. So with that, I will hand it over to Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally to make a few comments.
Thank you, Stuart, and it's a great day, I think, for this whole region as well as for the state and what they plan on doing here. I was when I was a student, my father was a physicist, and when I came home with barely got a C in physics under Dr. Imes in University of Memphis, he didn't like it at all. And to top it, I went in to see Dr. Imes one day, and I was in pre-med then, I had too much fun in Memphis to continue on, but went into pharmacy. But Dr. Imes said, "You know, McNally," and he was real nice up until this point. He said, "If you were the last person alive, I wouldn't let you deliver my cat's kittens." So that put me in my place. But I think it's a great day for Oak Ridge and Knoxville and all the surrounding communities that will be involved in this, because the industry that comes with the small modular reactors will be spread out through East Tennessee, and that will do great things for economic development, and that means there's more money that the legislature and the governor can have, and a lot of times we give that back to the taxpayers, so it's like a dividend to the taxpayers. But it's really a great pleasure to introduce the governor. I've served under a number of governors, including a few months with Governor Blanton, and out of all the governors, he's had the roughest road. The first year was easy, and then there were tornadoes in the Nashville area, in Putnam County, and then another time down in Chattanooga. We've had protests, even had riots. We've had a number of things that we saw the national economy kind of dip, and fortunately, due to his leadership, we kept things on a steady keel at state government. But and then his wife had developed cancer, and she was always out there helping, particularly with the food for the needy, and she'll be back doing that. And I really do respect Governor Lee, and I think he's a man of great integrity and a person who is somebody that I admire a lot. Governor Lee, I'm glad to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that. And before the governor comes up, I do want to also introduce Dan Mole, who's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of TVA, and we're glad TVA is part of this announcement today and our partnership with TVA as well. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So pleased to be here on this very important day for the state of Tennessee and for the nation.
TVA was established nearly 90 years ago to serve the region and the nation by developing really innovative solutions to solve complex challenges. And that same purpose guides us today. TVA has extensive experience and expertise in building and operating nuclear facilities. We built the first new nuclear reactor in the 21st century at Watts Bar, and we have one of the best operating fleets in the nation. So we're uniquely positioned to help to lead this effort. At TVA, we believe advanced nuclear technologies will play a critical role in our nation's drive towards a clean energy future, while also providing energy security, workforce and business development opportunities, and economic development. Enabling and accelerating this technology will take innovation and creativity, but it's also going to take dedication and hard work. And this isn't a path we can do alone. Everything we achieve in partnership. This is why we appreciate the support and the leadership of Governor Lee, who's positioning Tennessee as a national leader in deploying new nuclear technology that's affordable, reliable, resilient, and clean. This advisory council is an example of the state's leadership in this area, and no other governor in the nation has committed as much to nuclear power as Governor Lee with his Nuclear Fast Track Fund. So working alongside partners like Governor Lee will allow us to go further and faster as we develop innovative, cost-effective technologies that will not only help the state of Tennessee, but the nation itself. Thank you very much.
Before I introduce the governor, I do want to recognize Commissioner David Salyers is here with the Department of Environment and Conservation, if I can say that right. Director Patrick Sheehan is here from TEMA, who leads up our emergency services. So welcome both of you all here. So with that, I'd like to obviously introduce our 50th governor of the state of Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. It is an important day, and I'm grateful for everyone who's been here. Lieutenant Governor, thank you, sir, and members of the General Assembly who have been such partners for us in funding, for example, the nuclear fund that we have created, but for all of the leaders in the room, and especially for the opportunity to do this here at the University of Tennessee in the engineering building where one of the foremost nuclear engineering programs in the country exists. Tennessee has been leading the nation in nuclear energy for many decades. And, we have a long history in this state, beginning with the Manhattan Project and through today. Our history will include the future of the nuclear industry, the new technologies, the advancements that are being made, and the real opportunities in this nation that exist for the advancement of nuclear energy. Yesterday, I was in Washington, D.C. with the Nuclear Energy Institute, asked to speak there with Jeff Lash, with TVA, tremendous partners, with the state, with the University of Tennessee, with Oak Ridge National Laboratory, asked to speak about why Tennessee is positioned to lead the country in new nuclear development, but also why Tennessee is the spot that companies should consider investing in if they are companies that are in the ecosystem of nuclear energy. There is no discussion in America that has to do with nuclear, or that has to do with energy and an energy strategy for America. There is no discussion that does not include nuclear. And that's because it's clean, it is safe, it is resilient, and it is an important part of a diversity of generation that has to happen in this country to provide the needs for Tennessee and for states all across the country. So this is one of the fastest growing states in the country. We have companies moving here every day. Those companies have to have dependable power. There has to be a grid that we can count on. And TVA has been an incredible partner in that respect. but we have to continue to invest in that going forward. Part of that is nuclear, and so we're excited. The General Assembly, and I will say Lieutenant Governor has been very interested and supportive of this whole concept. But the General Assembly approved a $50 million nuclear energy fund in this year's budget that allows us to offer incentives to companies that are a part of the ecosystem for nuclear energy in this country. And if we're going to lead the country, then we want to create an environment for an ecosystem. We've done that successfully in this state through economic community development, but we want to be focused on the nuclear industry. So we have created this fund, and today I will sign an executive order that creates Tennessee's Nuclear Energy Advisory Council. That council will be made up of members of the General Assembly, members of the federal delegation, members from the private sector, members from nuclear industry, federal, state, local representation that will give advice to the state and to advise on this fund, but not only that, to advise on policy, budget, legislative issues that will impact our ability to remove barriers so that we can attract the companies that will be part of the future of nuclear energy in Tennessee. And as Commissioner McWhorter said, at the end of the day, this is about economic development. Yes, we have to have a resilient grid. Yes, we want to be investing in future technology for energy security in this country, but we also, at the end of the day, are creating jobs and economic opportunity. Tennesseans will have access to opportunity they didn't have before, and that is good for East Tennessee, it's good for Tennessee, it's good for the country. I'm excited to do this today, and I'll add one other thing as we sit in the engineering building for nuclear engineering program here at University of Tennessee. Workforce development is tremendously important to the companies that are considering and have considered and have already made decisions to invest in our state. We've said before, the state with the workers will win every time. That's why our investments in CTE, in vocational and technical education, starting with the GIVE Act and all the way through to this year's $1 billion investment in TCATs, combined with our post-secondary investments in our higher education institutions, we are developing a workforce not only to build out plants and to bring manufacturing to our state, but an advanced workforce for the nuclear industry as well. The UT Oak Ridge Innovation Institute, that is really a graduate level career development program. The nuclear engineering program here, the nuclear engineering program at Tennessee Tech. We are expanding the workforce and developing and building a workforce so that this new nuclear industry that is emerging once again in this country and will be led here in Tennessee, that we have the workers to fill it. We have a history and a legacy for that, but we have to continue it. So I could talk a lot about this. I've been talking about it for certainly 24 hours with a lot of nuclear people up in D.C., but I'm really happy to be back in Tennessee talking about it today because it matters to Knoxville, it matters to Oak Ridge, East Tennessee, and frankly, it matters to our entire state. So thank you for the partnership represented in this room, and let's sign an executive order. You ready? All of you, welcome to, if you'd like, to come up here and help me sign this. All right, y'all get in now. If you wouldn't be
Let's have everybody just
You're gonna have to crowd
Do you
in
mind
a
to
little
have,
bit.
let's have a couple of folks come
Show each
around to
other a
this
little
side, just to even it out a little bit, and just scrunch
Squish
on
out.
in there.
Elaine, Usually I'm the shortest one. All right, everybody
today.
watch me
Not today,
sign,
it's
and then
me.
we'll look up maybe at, one of those folks.
Did
All right.
Stuart bring you checks? That's what I want. That's the signing that I was wanting to come for.
Here we go. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy.
We got a whole ton of those.
Something for Britain.
Thank you, sir. I know this is.
Vacation?
Yeah. Of course, we didn't have to spend the house did, but it's good to be away from Nashville.